Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube.com. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is good old MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony the Hitman Florio, the Phenom Michael Bullock, and the Twisted Angel D.D. Woodson. And guys, culminate WrestleMania week down live, and oh my God, is not even the word I would say. You know, Anthony Florio challenged Smackdown Live. We had a return of one. We had a debut of another. Biggest debut, I think, out of the entire WrestleMania week, other than the Hardys, tonight on Smackdown Live. What I'm talking about, sit back, relax, and I'll even say this, brace yourselves, because it is epic. With that said, before we get to there, we started Smackdown Live with the new WWE Champion, Randy Orton. He cut in a promo, mostly getting booed by the IWC and by a lot of the fans out there because there's a lot of sympathy for Bray Wyatt. Of course, Anthony Florio made that abundantly clear last night on his show. But he was interrupted by Bray Wyatt, and Wyatt issued this open challenge to Randy Orton, a match, title in a House of Horrors match. Now, you don't know what the House of Horrors is all about, but Randy Orton says, you know what? Ron, I accept your challenge. Now that that's out of the way, why don't we just settle what we settled at WrestleMania? Come on out here, let me kick your ass. The next thing you know, the crazy vignette goes. Next thing we know, Bray Wyatt's in the ring. I'm here. Turn around, a brawl begins, but before Randy can get the upper hand, next thing we know, some guy grabs Orton, beats him up, throws him up against the barricade with a weird-looking mask. No. That ain't no weird-looking dude. It's Eric Rowan. He's back in WWE on SmackDown and apparently reunited with Bray Wyatt. 2-on-1 beatdown ensues. Here comes Luke Harper to make the save for Randy Orton. Looks like we got ourselves a tag team main event for the evening, folks. Well, solid start to SmackDown Live. I liked everything that was incorporated. And I'm really intrigued about this House of Horror fight. I think that's the one thing that is the biggest takeaway. What is this House of Horrors going to look like? What are we going to get from that? But definitely, great way to start the show here tonight. On in, give me your 2 cents.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. What else is there to say? You nailed it. I mean, it was a solid start to the show. Randy Orton had his little fun with the IWC crowd. Yes, the IWC crowd was still in effect on this first ever SmackDown Live following WrestleMania. And well, what can I say? I mean, as far as this House of Horrors thing goes, I think Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt are having some kind of spin on a Clockwork Orange House of Fun match or something. It feels like an excuse to have a garbage brawl after their very poor showing at WrestleMania. And yes, MF, you're absolutely right. I made that abundantly clear. I made it loud and clear last night. As I was getting ready to do my Tony's take on Ridiculously Raw. But when I heard House of Horrors, the first thing that immediately came to mind for me was back in 1991 at the WCW Halloween Havoc pay-per-view at the UTC Arena in Chattanooga, Tennessee. One of the most infamous matches in the history of professional wrestling, the Chamber of Horrors match. El Gigante, Sting, and the Steiner brothers against Abdullah the Butcher, the Diamond Stud, Cactus Jack, and Big Van Vader. Ooh, we all remember how that thing turned out. That was the first fight of the night, that Chamber of Horrors match. It's on the WWE Network. Check it out. And it lasted about 12 and a half minutes. The face team won. It's only because Mick Foley, who was Cactus Jack, had a dipsy-doo botcheroo moment when he accidentally pulled the switch, and Abdullah the Butcher, well, you know the story. You finished the puzzle there. So I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. I mean, I have been very critical of this whole angle. I mean, the WrestleMania match I thought was going to be halfway decent. Oh boy, was I wrong. And then Bray Wyatt says House of Horrors match. Okay, I'm intrigued. I'll give it a chance. Let's see where it goes. I don't think it's going to be as vicious and violent as that Chamber of Horrors match at Halloween Havoc 91 was. But because if they did that in today's WWE, that would certainly not be PG, let me tell you. Certainly not PG. But nonetheless, I'm intrigued, and I think what's going to happen is I think they're going to save that for Chicago on May 21st for the next SmackDown Live exclusive pay-per-view event entitled Backlash. So that's all I can say on that. So a solid start indeed, a solid segment there. I could probably say second best segment of the night because there was another segment that featured that epic debut that MF was talking about. So that's all I can say on that. So good start indeed. I'm intrigued. They actually had me intrigued for a change. So I'm ready to see where it goes. So Mugaboic, Phenom, let's bring you on in. House of Horrors match. What could that possibly mean? I'm intrigued.
Well, I mean, there's only one person who would know what a House of Horrors match is, and that is, of course, the Eater of Worlds himself, Bray Wyatt. So, yeah, this was definitely a great way to start off Raw. I mean, Randy Orton, playing to the crowd and basically, talking about how his plan worked out, and now, of course, he's the WWE champion, and then Bray Wyatt shows up, and he wants a rematch for the title, and he wants to do it in a House of Horrors match. And I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued to see what the rules is to this House of Horrors match. And then basically Bray Wyatt shows up and says, I'm here. And then they start brawling, and then out of nowhere, some guy showed up. Who was that guy? The returning Eric Rowan. It looks like it's going to be a 2-on-1 beatdown. Out comes Luke Harper. And then a tag team match for Luke Harper and Randy Orton against Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan was set for later on in the night. How did it turn out? You'll have to wait and find out. So definitely second best segment of the night. So Dee Woodson, come on in. Your thoughts on this segment?
Well, I do agree. It's second best segment of the night. As for this mystery match, I just hope it's not another freak show like we had last night with the, or not last night, but WrestleMania, when they had the, whatever you want to call it, that was on the ring while they were having the match to try to get Orton off his game. But that's the first thing that popped in my head when they mentioned it, was the WrestleMania match with all the freaky critters or whatever you want to call them that they were showing pictures of on the ring, but still, it was a good opening segment, good way to start off the show. So, not much more to say about it.
All right, and we're going to move on to the first official fight of the night. Alexa Bliss, she threw the demand for the rematch, and we got it. One of the few return fights from WrestleMania. Alexa Bliss implements her rematch clause, and she gets the opportunity to fight the new SmackDown Women's Champion, Naomi. And the winner of the bout in approximately 11 minutes and 23 seconds. And still, SmackDown Women's Champion, Naomi, she was in her hometown, this time at the Amway Arena, and she delivers in the clutch. The champion remains the champion, and SmackDown Live for at least one more week will get to feel the glow. Michael Bullock, it is all yours, my friend. What did you think about this women's title match?
I thought Anthony leads off first.
Actually, I stand corrected. Yeah, Anthony is actually yours. I'm sorry, my bad. I'm just too amped up for that moment. I'm too amped up for the moment. I'm sorry.
Understandably.
Are you sure about that, NF? I thought you might have had green beans on the brain for a minute there.
Okay. No. I ain't a vegetarian. I'm sorry, man. Green beans does not do it for me.
Understandable, brother MF. But nonetheless, 2.5 stars is the best I can give it. Solid effort, but really never got out of second gear. My question is, who's next for Naomi? I'm thinking maybe a new. I got a feeling that SmackDown Live is gonna get one of my girls from Raw. I swear to God, if they get the Queen, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose my stuff. You know what I mean? So I do not want them to get Charlotte. I want Charlotte to stay put on Monday Night Raw. You can have anybody else. Well, of course you can't have Bayley because she's the champ. So don't take any of the others. Well, you can take any of the others, but don't take Charlotte and don't take Bayley. Any of the others, fine with me. That's all I can say on that. My guess is maybe, and whoever comes over from Raw, I think that's going to be. I'm guessing that's going to be Naomi's next challenger. So that's pretty much all I can say on that. So I would say maybe second or third best fight of the night. This was not the fight of the night by any means. I already know what my fight of the night is. This was not it, but it was fine though. Fine for what it was. So 2.5 stars on the for this women's title match. I'm glad they're keeping the bell on Naomi. Let's give her a nice run with it. She damn sure deserves it after everything she's been through, especially that pointless and unnecessary injury angle. But then again, like I always like to say, better safe than sorry. And well, they ended up being sorry because they came back. She came back before WrestleMania, and I'm glad that she did. And then, of course, Mania, she tore it up, and from the entrance to the fight. So next challenger, I think it's going to be one of the superstar shakeups. I think they're going to get one of the girls from Raw. But like I say, do not take Bayley, and damn sure don't take Charlotte Flair. Because if you take Charlotte Flair, I will lose it. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 2.5 stars. I'm going to give it for the fight as well. I mean, it was fine for what it was. I mean, it was good at times, and there were other times that they really didn't come out that strong. But yeah, I mean, but still, it was good for what it was. And yeah, what's next now for Naomi? Yeah, I do agree. I think it's going to end up being somebody that comes from Raw. We just don't know who it's going to be when they have that shakeup next week. So 2.5 stars, Dee Woodson. I give it to you.
I agree. 2.5 stars. Not going to say too much more. So it's yours, Fletch.
Unanimous decision, 2.5 stars, no doubt about it. Dive right in to the next part of the night. And all right, guys, this was one of the shockers of the evening. Anthony Bullock, go ahead. Tye Dillinger versus Kurt Hawkins. Dillinger makes his debut, wins the match. Go ahead, Bullock. It's all yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give this a no rating. This was basically like a. This is basically a cutout, but man, I mean, it's good to see Tye Dillinger basically be on the main roster. I mean, he's been on with NXT for, I think it's about a couple of years. I think. I mean, I had the indication that he was going to be on the main roster at some point, especially when he made his appearance in the Royal Rumble match back in January. So, yeah, no rating for me, but yeah. So, Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
No rating for me, and welcome to SmackDown, Tye Dillinger. So, Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, I wanted it to do a bigger rollout for Tye Dillinger. It just kind of went a little sideways on me. I apologize, folks. I mean, let me hit the stats on you. 6 foot 3 inches tall, 225 pounds, from Niagara Falls, Canada. A 15-year pro, was in NXT for the last 5 years, and was one of the most over guys in NXT. You know, we talk about how Enzo Amore and Big Cass was the most over tag team in NXT that never really won the big one. Was the most over guy on NXT, never to win a championship or anything like that, but because of his charisma, his attitude, and just that underdog style. And of course, with the 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 was perfect. We saw a glimpse of it at the Royal Rumble when he made his debut. And a lot of people thought at that time that was the call-up. That was going to be the moment. Was he going to Raw, SmackDown? Back down to NXT. A lot of people were not too thrilled about that decision. A lot of people were like, what the heck? Why is he not getting the opportunity now? Give him the opportunity. He got it. Now he's on the main roster. They threw the perfect guy at him, Kurt Hawkins, you know, a marginal jobber. Basically, you want to start guys out really good. You know, give them that opportunity. Let them get their feet wet on the main roster. And you could tell Tye was into it. The minute he came out from the gorilla position and was looking at that crowd, did you see the smile on his face? He was happy. He was enjoying the moment. That's why I like to see. But you have to be careful here, because remember, the superstar shakeup is next week. So who knows? It's a one-off. Tye Dillinger could get swapped to Monday Night Raw. We don't know. Anything can happen. But this little debut for him, I didn't expect much once we saw Kurt Hawkins, but Hawkins made the big mistake. He issued an open challenge, and you know you never do that, because look what happened last night. Issued an open challenge. It got answered by the Revival, and we all saw what happened there. Kurt Hawkins issues an open challenge tonight, and look who answered the bell. That's why I say, ever issue an open challenge in a wrestling promotion, because 9 times out of 10 it will be answered. I agree, no rating. You could even call this the worst fight of the night. I'll gladly give you that, guys. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
No rating to a dud, no question about it. And a nice first appearance for the Perfect 10, Tye Dillinger. I hope they find a role for him quickly. And you know what? I think he would make a good dance partner for Dolph Ziggler right now. Dolph Ziggler's looking for something to do. How about a Dillinger and Ziggler feud down the line? I'd be down with that. I know you guys would all be down with that too. So that'd be a great way to get Dillinger over on the main roster. No doubt about it. So no rating to a dud, worst fight of the night. And now the moment that MF has been waiting for. The epic debut of epic debuts. And MF, I know this is a big one for you. So it's all yours, man.
Okay. Well, before we got there, we had an interview with Mojo Rawley. Adasha Fuentes was doing the interview with them in the back. And, he talked about how, him and Rob Gronkowski, a.k.a. the Gronk, they had, they were going crazy. They were going wild after winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. I really liked this Mojo because he talked about what Andre the Giant meant, and back in the day there were stories of Andre having wild parties, living the life back in the day in WWF, and he talked about how the bar and go bigger and try to go for bigger things next time out. And he felt humbled, more humble. He wasn't like that crazy nut, like he always is. It was a humbling moment, and I really like this. This was a Mojo Rawley because he was in the moment. And sometimes, yes, I'm like him. I like to go crazy. I like to be a nut. I like to be a little bit out there. But sometimes you need those moments to level yourself off. And I think he was leveled, and I loved it. Okay. Now, I know this moment is going to be talked about because everybody's talking about this one. It started out with The Miz and Maryse as John Cena and Nikki Bella. And, they were ripping about Cena, how all the sketches that was leading up to Total Bella, that stuff, how they're supposed to be relatable, and, how with everything going on that, with the wedding and the whole 9 yards, and how she's happy to manipulate him to getting into what she wants, saying that, the wedding is nothing but a sham and the whole 9 yards, and now Hollywood. And, that's it. And he's like, goodbye, everybody. You're never going to see John Cena again. Okay, fine. But the next thing we saw, there was a guy, a gentleman, with a violin. And he started playing. I think we all knew meaning. And I'm telling you, I started marking out. I was losing it. And as a matter of fact, I was choking up in tears because I could not believe this was actually happening. The biggest name on the NXT roster, the man, the king of the strong style, the leader, the original leader of chaos, the 5-time IWGP Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, the former 3-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion of the World, and former 2-time NXT Champion, Smackdown Live. It was Shinsuke Nakamura, and he came out in all his glory. I'm even going to steal a line from good old JR himself, and he actually referred to Nakamura as this. Referred to him as a mixture of Freddie Mercury, Jackson, and a badass. The person can have those three qualities about themselves in any wrestling organization in the world today. Can anybody answer that for me? Like Shinsuke Nakamura. He was the biggest export coming out of Japan. He was one of the biggest names going into NXT, and now of SmackDown Live has changed forever. You wanted the person to possibly replace John Cena? This is the one that can replace John Cena as the number one face of SmackDown Live. And what a moment it was. The crowd was hyped than ever before. This was the most loudest than anything we saw the entire weekend of WrestleMania. Other than the Hardys on Sunday night, this was the biggest pop or SmackDown. I'm still a buzzing. I'm still going nuts right here. Of the night, this is the segment of the year for me. What Nakamura did. Anthony Florio, brother.
I don't know how I can follow that. I mean, Bullock and I had our SmackDown chat tonight. He informed me of your Facebook status, and I'm like, Fletcher's in tears, huh? I'm like, that's passion right there. That's how much love and appreciation that MF has for Shinsuke Nakamura, and I don't blame him. Shinsuke Nakamura is a god in Japan. Let's not kid ourselves. But with him on SmackDown Live, the first thing that comes to my mind, gentlemen and lady, do you now realize that barring something going down in the Superstars shakeup, we've got Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles on the same roster? Whoa. MF, you, better than anybody, know the history of Nakamura and Styles in Japan. I know you saw their epic battle. What was it, like a year or two ago? You saw that?
2 years ago. Yeah, January 4th. It was January 4, 2015. And it was by far, and in many people's eyes, the match of the year, the pro wrestling fight of the year was Nakamura versus AJ Styles.
Amen. And I was telling Bullock, I'm like, and we were thinking about you. We thought about you instantly when we saw Nakamura, because we know how much you love and appreciate Nakamura's body of work, and you've been all over. You've covered Nakamura's body of work. You and Derek Ferreira, because we all know how much you guys love, the New Japan, and of course the wars we had with AJ Styles and all the other great talents over in Japan down there. But this is a moment. This was a moment. I mean, that was one of the greatest pops I've ever heard in my life. Oh my Lord. Shinsuke Nakamura is a huge get for SmackDown, a huge coup for SmackDown. If they move a few more strong work rate wrestlers over to SmackDown Live, the show will feel pretty loaded. Miz and Maurice were funny, but they quickly became old news once the King of the Strong Style showed up. I mean, the violin player, epic. The crowd, doing their usual thing. The whoa. I mean, How do you not get an adrenaline rush? How do you not get goosies when you hear that? My Lord in heaven, that was as epic could be. That's a debut right there. I guess The Miz is going to be Nakamura's first dance partner. That's fine. You know, start him a little on the lower side. We got plenty of time. We got plenty of time to build to a Nakamura AJ fight. I have faith that's going to go down. But I think you might want to save that for the biggest party of the summer in Brooklyn, New York on August the 20th. A little event called Wham Bam Summer Slam. That's when I think we could get Nakamura and AJ Styles. Believe that. That's what I want to see. Now that they're on the same roster, please, WWE, I don't care when you do it, make it happen. I want to see Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. And when that goes down, here's your match of the year for 2017 right there. It'll make Styles and Cena from the Royal Rumble look an absolute dud. That's all I'm going to say. So, welcome to SmackDown Live, Shinsuke Nakamura. And as much as I wanted to see him on Raw, I'm glad SmackDown Live got him. The only reason why I wanted him on SmackDown Live, him and AJ Styles. Enough said. Abso-freaking-lutely epic. That was a moment. That was a moment in time. I had to rewind it. I kept rewinding it back over and over on the DVR because I wanted that crowd reaction. I mean, that was an adrenaline rush and a half for me. So, that's something I'm going to remember. We're all going to remember this for years and years to come. So with that being said, Michael Bullock, let's bring you on in. And ladies and gentlemen, Michael Bullock had this one. He told me once he saw The Miz and Maurice, we're going to be calling out John Cena. He says, hey, Florio, I think this is where we're going to get Shinsuke Nakamura. Man, Michael Bullock, you are Nostradamus, man. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who don't know, I mean, Florio already mentioned we had our SmackDown talk, and I said, I mean, as soon as I heard that John Cena and Nikki Bella were going to be there, I'm like thinking, this is the point where Shinsuke Nakamura is gonna make his debut on SmackDown Live, and I was correct on that. So yeah, Miz and Maurice had their little fun with poking fun at John Cena and Nikki Bella once again, but that's old story because once we saw the violinist come out, and I'm like, this is it, and there he was. The most recognized wrestler in the world, Shinsuke Nakamura, is on SmackDown Live. I mean, oh my goodness. What a moment that was. I mean, you talk about his career in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Of course, what he did in NXT. I mean, remember, he made his debut a year ago on NXT, and he had that 5-star classic match with Sami Zayn. I mean, and he's even had a feud with Samoa Joe. So, and with the Superstar shakeup, what if he goes to Raw? And who's on Raw? Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe. But like I said, we'll wait till next week, and if he stays on SmackDown Live, I think that's going to be the first feud for Shinsuke Nakamura. It's going to be against The Miz. So, welcome to SmackDown Live, Shinsuke Nakamura. And I still have goosebumps after seeing him come out. So, segment of the night, and I'll even agree with Fletch. I think this is the segment of the year. I don't know what else is there to say. Twisted Angel, D.D. Woodson, your thoughts on this?
You know, when I saw Miz and Maurice coming out as John Cena and Nikki Bella, I thought, oh no, here's another crap segment. But as soon as you saw the violinist, I mean, that totally changed the segment. I mean, you can cut out the Miz Maurice part. Just that segment alone, just the part of the violinist and Nakamura coming out there. I mean, that right there, that little bit of that segment pretty much, cemented the this is the segment of the night, and like you all said, the segment of the year. So I'm glad to see him there. Glad to see the new talent starting to come into both companies, and I'm hoping in this shakeup maybe we may get some more from NXT or whatever as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on that. So enough said. Let's move on.
And then, when after everything that happened on that moment, you're thinking, oh my God, good luck to anybody who has to follow this. Well, we had a return match from WrestleMania. It was Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin in a street fight. The winner of the bout in approximately 12 minutes and 10 seconds. Baron Corbin wins it with the end of days. Anthony Florio, it's all yours, my friend.
Fight of the night. Simple as that. This was the fight of the night. 3.5 stars. Why couldn't we have had this at WrestleMania instead of that slow, boring, plodding match they had at Mania? I mean, good grief. If they had done this at Mania, that would have torn the house down. No question about it. But nonetheless, I enjoyed the brawl, and I think this was definitely the right finish. My sense tells me we may see Ambrose maybe traded to Raw along with the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship for Kevin Owens in the United States Heavyweight Championship. So the fact that this was a non-title allows them to finish the feud and keep the title where they want it. So that's a realistic possibility. I mean, it'll bite if that's true. If Raw loses Kevin Owens but gets Dean Ambrose, I mean, that's a fair trade right there. I mean, I can definitely see that happening. I could see the Intercontinental Championship being exclusive to Monday Night Raw and the United States Heavyweight Championship becoming exclusive to SmackDown Live. I mean, to have Dean Ambrose, and if that happens, we'll have all 3 Shield members on the same show again. We'll have Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns on the same show. Whoa, Nelly. Just a possibility. But that's all I can say right there. Just another one of my little wacky scenarios there. So, but nonetheless, this match was awesome. This was far and away better than that garbage match we saw on the WrestleMania kickoff show. So that's all I can say on that. 3.5 stars. This was the fight of the night. Michael Bullock, I know we agreed on that.
Yeah, this was the fight of the night. 3.5 stars. And yeah, I mean, why couldn't we get a match like this at WrestleMania? But it is what it is. I mean, we got this match tonight, and boy, I certainly enjoyed it. As did you guys. So there's really nothing more to say. So 3.5 stars, fight of the night. Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Definitely 3.5 stars. But to comment to something Florio said there about all 3 Shield members, who's to say the other 2 Shield members will stay on Raw too? I mean, we're having a shakeup, so we still could have one on the other show, and then we could have all 3 on one show. We don't know. We'll just have to kind of see what happens on that. But definitely 3.5 stars, fight of the night. So let's go on.
Yeah, I agree. Fight of the night, 3 to 3.5 stars is my rating as well. This was an entertaining fight, and I really thought this was going to be as good. It was better than I even expected it. I think we all can agree, because I actually did get to see the fight now. It was far and away better than the match at WrestleMania. The WrestleMania match was a major level letdown. This was a lot better. So no, I totally agree with everything you guys said. Next up, we had with Shane McMahon. He tried to clear up a little bit. Well, first off, he thanked the fans for for the love and everything for during the WrestleMania time. Then they talked about the superstar shakeup. He said that he's told that the superstars on Raw, they should pray that they would be selected and end up on SmackDown because, as you know, him and Daniel Bryan has created this land of opportunity. Well, before Shane can go any more further, then we had an announcement, and AJ Styles' music hit. He came out, and AJ was like, you know what? He's like, first off, I want to do one thing and one thing only. Shake the hand of Shane McMahon for everything that happened, the match at WrestleMania. But most importantly, he says he doesn't want to go anywhere after this shakeup. He wants to stay on SmackDown because the SmackDown was the house that AJ Styles built. Granted, he was one of the main stars of the SmackDown, especially for the last year when this draft happened. And Daniel Bryan put AJ Styles at such a high pedestal, selecting him in the second round. As many of you guys know, Dean Ambrose was their number one overall pick at the time. He was the WWE World Champion going in, so he was their top pick. And more importantly, AJ Styles was the first man off of it. It was actually the second man that SmackDown selected in that first round, number 4 overall. So yes, I mean, if you want to talk about, place that runs the place or the man that built the company to be as awesome as it is, I think we all can agree it was definitely the phenomenal AJ Styles. And for him to say that he doesn't want to go to Raw, maybe a face turn, maybe, I don't know. Because remember, with all the talent coming in, but there is one problem. This is why I'm afraid AJ's not going to get what he wants. Because as many of you guys know in the dirt sheets, Vince McMahon loves the audio work of AJ Styles. He's coveted AJ Styles enough that he wants him on Monday Night Raw. He wants him to be on Raw. So as much as maybe we want it to happen, I hate to say this, guys, but I don't think AJ is gonna get his wish. But we'll tackle that next week. Of course, Anthony will do it on Monday night. If there's more trades or anything on SmackDown, I'll be covering that on Tuesday night. But with that said, Michael Bullock, I believe it's you that lead off on this segment. So go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, I thought this was a good segment. I mean, basically, you said Shane McMahon was, of course, thanking the people of Orlando for the past week with what they did leading up to WrestleMania and the event itself, and then talking about the superstar shakeup. Then basically AJ Styles comes out and says, "You know what? I owe you something because I feel like I don't want to go anywhere. I want to stay on SmackDown Live." So he extends a hand and they actually shake. So yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens come next week if AJ Styles is still a part of SmackDown Live, and maybe a face turn could be coming. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So nice segment. Dee Whitson, I give it to you.
Yeah, it was a good segment. Impressed with the fact that AJ came out to shake hands with Shane and to, kind of, I guess you can say, kind of bury the hatchet in a way. So, whether he stays or whether he goes, we'll have to wait and see. because there's no telling what we're going to get from this shakeup. And so, I mean, we could get just about anybody off of Raw, and they could get just about anybody off of SmackDown. So we'll just have to wait and see. So it's yours.
Yeah.
I pretty much gave my 2 cents, so I'm just gonna pass it right off to Florio.
Can you say face turn possibly here? I think so. AJ's face turn is going to be huge. Hopefully that means SmackDown imports some heels from Raw. Kevin Owens and or Samoa Joe would definitely fit the bill. Him and Joe rekindling their rivalry from TNA? Sign me up. I'm there. It will also be interesting to see how they eventually get to that AJ Nakamura dream match. And I'd also like to see what AJ and Bray Wyatt could do in the ring, especially if they cut back on that dumpster fire hocus pocus nonsense. But overall, another very good segment. It would have been the segment of the night if not for the King of Strong Style debuting, but it is what it is. So second best segment of the night for me. I liked how it turned out. Shane, addressing the superstar shakeup, and then AJ coming out and doing his thing, saying that this was the house that he built, just like another house in that area, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. So that's all I can say there. So second best segment of the night for me. So possibilities are endless, MF, as we move on to the main event.
Main event of the evening in a tag team match. It was the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan versus Luke Harper and WWE Champion Randy Orton. The winner of the bout was Luke Harper and Randy Orton at 11 minutes and 51 seconds. And this goes to Dee Woodson. So, Dee Woodson, you take care of our main event of the evening. What did you think of the match?
She had to step out.
Oops. Okay, I actually did not notice that. All right. So, we'll reset the table. I guess I'll have to take it off. Main event that I was expecting it to be something a little better. Unfortunately, it kind of did leave a little sour taste in the mouth this time around. So I can only give this maybe 2.5 stars. I mean, after the epicness that SmackDown had, it was a little bit of a Debbie Downer that this is how it ends the evening. But okay, nothing more to say. Hopefully they'll get better, or maybe the new blood comes in after this superstar shakeup, and hopefully by then we'll get something really massive down the line. But we'll wait and see how this plays out, especially next week. Next week is going to be very telling to the landscape and the future of not only Raw but SmackDown as well. Because I'll tell you, SmackDown was coming off of a very good road to WrestleMania. I think they really put themselves into some epicness now, but we got to wait and see. So, yeah, not bad. 2 to 2.5 stars. Anthony, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. 2 to 2.5 stars. Meh. Pretty apathetic about that match. I mean, I want to see Luke Harper do well, and it's great to see Eric Rowan back healthy. But I'm sorry, this feud has died 1,000 deaths, and it does not show any signs of suddenly becoming interesting, even with that House of Horrors match, even though I'm intrigued by it. So that's really all I can say on that. Standard paint by numbers tag team main event. We're used to this by now, so that's really all I can say there. So that's it for me. 2 to 2.5 stars. I agree with the ratings. So, Bullock, your thoughts on the main event?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars as well. So, you guys pretty much touched on it. So let's get on to overall thoughts on this edition of SmackDown Live.
Well, Dee Woodson has to give her thoughts because she had to step out.
Oh yeah, so Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, I agree with the rating 2.5 stars. So not gonna say too much more. Let's go on.
All right, overall rating, as you guys always know, it is open forum, so whoever wants to take it, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll start it here. Fun show overall, but it was bookended by the worst feud going on the show, and it left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. The sooner they abandon that thing, the better. So that's all I can say on that. But other than that, I mean, 3 quality matches. Of course, fight of the night, hands down, the street fight with Corbin and Ambrose. The other 2 matches were fine. The women's match with Naomi and Alexa Bliss, and the main event was okay. Dillinger with a cutout moment over Hawkins. And then you had the, I would probably say maybe around, I got to say maybe 7.5 out of 10, if I'm being real honest with you. I kind of thought Monday Night Raw was a little bit better because, they were a little more, they had more quality matches, more surprises. Hey, yes, we got the epic debut of epic debuts with Shinsuke Nakamura. And like I said, we're going to remember that for years to come. But, all the other things were fine and whatnot. But if I had to make some recommendations, I recommend the Nakamura thing, obviously. Corbin and Ambrose street fight, I'll give you that. The women's match, I suppose, and then the main event if you want. And then the Shane and AJ segment, I would recommend that. But other than that, everything else is skippable unless you want to see Tye Dillinger and all that. So for me, 7 to 7.5 out of 10, honestly. And honestly, I felt Raw was better. So whoever wants it next, it's yours.
I'll take it. I'm actually gonna say 7.5 to 8 out of 10 is my rating for this episode. Yeah, I agree. Monday Night Raw was better, but the reason why I'm saying 7.5 to 8 out of 10, just because of the crowd. Especially during that Nakamura segment. They were still excited over that, and yeah, you had the debut of Tye Dillinger, so yeah, so there's really nothing more. And of course, you had that great fight of the night with the street fight with Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin. Yeah, so 7.5 to 8 out of 10 is my rating. So, Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
I'm going straight down the middle, 7.5. Very newsworthy show. One major cutout, but very good show. Definitely glad to see the new talent starting to come in. Really happy to see Nakamura come in, and I know I'm probably not saying it right, but hey, I've been up since 5:30 this morning and without sleep and worked 8 hours, so I'm kind of tired. So I'm heading out, guys. Good night.
Good night, Dee. I'm actually with the 8 out of 10 with you guys. I thought this was a really good show. Yes, I'll give Monday Night Raw the dupe here. I think they were the better show this week, just by much. But I'll say this was amazing. This was a really good show. The Nakamura thing was, oh my God. Wrestling fans are buzzing right now. And to think about the prospect of Shinsuke in WWE on SmackDown Live, they're praying to the high gods that he does not go to Raw, because that would be a backbreaker for SmackDown. Even though there was an article, I think it was on CBS line, where they had a recent interview with Nakamura, and that he made it very clear he wants to be on SmackDown Live. Because of that opportunity, the rivalry with AJ Styles, to wrestle guys like John Cena, to get those type of fights, and it would be a monstrous moment if it does happen. But we'll wait and see what happens, because Monday night is going to be a massive Raw, and this is without a doubt. If you thought SmackDown last year during the draft was a massive show, this one is going to be bigger. The Raw shakeup, the Superstar shakeup, how long is that going to be? What is that going to entail? Is it trades? Is it signings? What are we going to expect? You know the entire roster is really torn. We will not know what happens. And as a matter of fact, even the superstars will not know. And this is what I know actually heard is that during these draft or trades or anything else, the superstars actually does not know until literally when it actually happens. So they will not know if they're going to Raw or SmackDown until they make the official announcement live on that show that night. So everybody is going to be in the loop, is going to be out of the loop. There's only going to be a couple of people that will know. Shane will know. Daniel Bryan will know because they represent SmackDown. Kurt Angle will know. And Vince McMahon. And that is it. And maybe Triple H. Triple H might even find out. The wheelings and dealings and the moving and shaking. Of course, they're going to have to notify William Regal and all the people from NXT, just in case if somebody gets snatched from the NXT roster, which we've heard a lot of rumors about some other people getting snatched from NXT. So we'll wait and see what happens there. But whatever the case may be, Monday night is going to be a mega event. All right. During WrestleMania weekend, we did have the Super Card of Honor from Lakeland, Florida, from the Jenkins Arena, the Lakeland Center. And this is how the card went down. It was Marty Scurll putting the Ring of Honor World Television title on the line against Adam Cole. Marty Scurll won the match. He keeps the belt. Then we had the Beer City Bruiser and Silas Young versus the Kingdom. And the winner of the bout was Silas Young and the Beer City Bruiser. Then in a six-man tag team fight, we had Bully Ray and the Briscoes versus the members of the Bullet Club, Hangman Adam Page, Tama Tonga, and Taga Roya. The winners of the bout was on Team Ring of Honor. Bully Ray and the Briscoes gets the victory. In a Texas Bull Rope match, we had Jay Lethal one-on-one with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, winner of the bout. Jay Lethal, he defeats him. Then we had, and this was actually a added match. This was not on the initial card. This was added last minute. It was a three-way tag team match. It was the Motor City Machine Guns versus Cheeseburger and Will Ferrara versus Red Titus and Shane Taylor from the Rebellion. The winners of the bout, it was the Motor City Machine Guns. They defeat. Next up we had was Punisher Martinez go one-on-one with Frankie Kazarian. The winner of that match was Punisher Martinez. Then we had a impromptu fight. This fight was not even supposed to happen. Bobby Fish went one-on-one with Silas Young. Basically, Silas Young ran his mouth off. Said, you know what? I'm the greatest wrestler, the last great wrestler alive, and the whole 9 yards. Bobby Fish took a little exception to it. They actually got into a fight. Bobby Fish won the match by disqualification at 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Worst fight of the night. I'm not even going to give you a rating on that. Then we had Valedor Jr. from the CMLL, the Continental Mexico, the Continental Mundial de Lucha Libre, that's in Mexico, main rival of AAA Wrestling, and Will Ospreay from New Japan Pro Wrestling representing Chaos. They went up against Dragon Lee. The winners of the bout was Valedor Jr. and Will Ospreay. Then in our two big main fights of the evening, Christopher Daniels puts the Ring of Honor world title on the line against Dalton Castle, winner of the bout, and still Ring of Honor world champion, the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels. And in the main event of the evening, for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship in Ladder War 7. It was the Young Bucks going up against the Hardys, the winners of the bout, and the new Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions was the Young Bucks. Fight of the night, and right now a candidate for Fight of the Year. Unbelievable match, 5-star classic and beyond. As many of you guys know, the Hardys actually ended up going to WWE the next night, appearing at WrestleMania. So what they did was they dropped the belts to the Young Bucks, and they procured them as the greatest tag team, and they passed the torch to the Young Bucks, saying that you guys are the future of wrestling, you are amazing, and we salute you. So that is it. That's it for our show. And my goodness, what an evening it was indeed. Thank you so much for watching this. Much love to you guys as always. And, well, the next thing we have is our Strictly Sports show. And let me run down the docket for you guys because I actually do have the docket here. It is going through some other stuff that was happening during the day. Let's see. Do I have it? Yes. Here it is. Okay. So this is what's on tap for Strictly Sports on Friday night. First off, we're going to be talking about the Raiders. The Oakland Raiders is indeed moving to Las Vegas. So we're going to get into that. Jarvis Familia has been suspended for 15 games. What happened? Well, you're just going to have to find out. Anthony Floyd will have that. We will also talk about the NCAA Men's College Basketball Tournament, the National Championship, North Carolina, cutting down the nets, winning the national championship. And then we're also going to talk about the women's basketball. We thought it was going to be the UConn Invitational. Oh, no. They got tripped up in the Final Four. They got knocked out by Mississippi State in probably one of the biggest stunners you'll ever witness in the history of college women's sports, and definitely a moment that we all will be talking about. Plus, we'll talk about the new champions of the college women's basketball, South Carolina, the Gamecocks. They won the national championship. We'll get into that. We'll be previewing UFC 210 that's going down this Saturday night. This is going to be an awesome show. And then for the final time this season, the NHL Power Rankings. So, with that said, the show will be at 10:30 Eastern on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com on Friday night. And with that said, for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, for Dee Dee Woodson, I am Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much for watching this. Like the video, comment, share it with all your friends on all platforms of social media. And more importantly, Huzz and Ham Pounds, we are out. Have a good night, everybody, and so long for now.